good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, all colors, all races, all languages around the world. Good morning to everyone. And may you have the best day humanly possible. And thank you so much for, to all the world. Thank you, no matter where you are in the world. Thank you so much because people are beginning to come together. And it's a hard battle, but we're opening up our eyes in so many different ways. And, the one thing that we should all focus on for this upcoming year is to how to bring people from all walks of life together and how to listen, so that we can all create change together, not divided through political lines, through race or anything else. How we can come together as human beings for all of humanity, because we know that the world is broken, not just here in this country, but the world itself in whole is broken. So we're going to talk about karma because, people, we've all gone through life and say, I hope this person gets their karma. I hope that person, or I hope she, where it comes to relationship, or I hope he gets his karma. We always want this karma. But what if karma is actually truth, where the world sees a person, or the people in the community see a person for who they actually are? Well, these things are happening now. And, why they're happening, we can't say, but we have to be thankful that these things are happening now. So today's topic is karma will come. So be you, or be yourself. And I preach this in all my videos, to be yourself. So no matter what circle a person goes into, they're still speaking about the same person. So a person will know if this, what's right, what's wrong. Okay, this person knows that person because this person's the same way with me. They don't put on multiple faces. He or she doesn't put on multiple faces. But we live in a world where validation is everything. People are willing to change a face in public, but behind closed doors it's different. So today we discuss how you present yourself is how karma will affect you, because karma is real. What you do to a person or what you do to others, it'll come back on you, and whether positive or negative. So either way, karma will come. We often think of others as to how we not only compare ourselves, we are driven to become like those to whom we respect. This is a process in which we pass on to our children. And so now this is the reason for this video, because we pass this on to our children unknowingly. Nothing wrong with it, but there is something wrong with it. So we're going to discuss that. Knowing that all people, because we pass this on to our kids, knowing that all people have flaws. Knowing that this or that is what a person does. What is most important is the values and morals of that person. As well as how he or she treats others. So how he treats a group, how she treats others. So same thing. In my videos, I speak about self-validation, thinking for oneself, and most importantly, to have one face that represents yourself to the world around you. We live in a world of he said, she said. People who give more love and respect to others before even those people that are closest to them. And that's that putting people on a pedestal syndrome that we've grown up with, that we pass on to our children. We allow others to tell us what we should think, act, and feel, putting people again on a pedestal, believing that they can do no wrong, even to the point of not even questioning a person's work or a group's work, because there's groups that do this too. It's not just individuals. So we take everything at face value, that we take it at face value. We're going to find out that that's something that we're going to have to change in the up and coming year. We know the world has changed. We have arrived at a point in time where many things now is or being exposed, meaning that things are coming out into the open now. You can't hide behind closed doors, and it's only a matter of time before karma makes you answer for what you do in the dark. We find that it is no longer about white or black, Republican or Democrat, man or woman, Christian or Muslim. We have opened our eyes to the fact that these are only tools generated by all world powers over its people, divide and conquer, practice all over the world. And no matter where you go in the world, you're going to find out that the same practice, the same things that are going on here are going on over there. So at what point do we realize that this is happening to all people? So today let's look at 3 of many people who present themselves in one way to the public, yet are very different behind closed doors. However, karma does not discriminate, nor is it based upon the demographics that I had just pointed out. So we are all held accountable to the person in which we present to the world. And the first person I want to start out with is, this is a state representative of the state that I'm in, which is Connecticut. State representative And what this state representative did is he stole money from the people. He stole money from the people in his region, in his district, did not care if it was Republican, Democrat, in between, over the fence, over, beyond the fence, down the road, back through the road, underwater or above water. He did not care. There was nothing except the motivation of greed. So this man stole, what was it, 600,000, I believe, that he stole from those people, diverting the money into his own business. And right after he does this, he goes out to one of the casinos here in Connecticut and tries to gamble and win some more. So it just goes to say, not in a smiling way, that we have to wake up and we have to hold all people accountable for what it is that they do, and we have to hold them accountable to their service that they say that they're going to present to us. We have to hold them, no matter what your political lines are, still have to hold them accountable, no matter who's in office, because this is the only way things are going to get done. And we're finding out now that these snatch and grabs are not just here in this state. You can go in your own state and you'll find somebody in office who's stolen some of this money. But now we say, okay, well, that's political, so you say you don't want to be in politics. No, this channel isn't based on politics. This is based on people. Now we're going to talk about Dr. Thurber, who is a doctor who I had the opportunity to meet years ago, over 30 years ago. I was at his office with my oldest daughter. At the time, she was the firstborn, so she was a baby during the time when I met Dr. Thurber. And I remember, because my daughter's born on Christmas Day, when she was first born, just the fact she was born on Christmas Day, hey, you're young. Back then, it was a party weekend. Long story short, I go to a store I forgot what I was grabbing from the store, but I had to go out to the store and grab some stuff. Oh, we were cooking during the cooking process, so I had to go grab some stuff from the store. So a friend of mine who I worked with at the time, he came with me. So I was going to pick that up, drop him off at home. Long story short, get pulled over, and from there I had to go to these DUI classes where they would expunge it from my record, which they did. And I remember I had gone to 2 classes. It was 5 classes. Each one of those classes was like $180. That was insane. It's probably even more now, but it was $180 back then per class. So I paid for the class, and this is why they expunged it. I paid for the class. I was there with my daughter, but we couldn't go into the group because I had my daughter with me, and that was the only time during that period where I had my daughter. I didn't have anyone to watch her. So long story short, I'm in the waiting room, and with my daughter, I'm still, because they give you these pads you got to write, and then they ask you questions at the end in order for you to graduate the class. So I'm hearing it outside, and I'm sitting there and I'm writing down the answers and writing down the things and what we're supposed to be doing. So I was keeping up, but I was listening to it just like you see that wall. They were on the other side of the wall. So you'd think that you would get some kind of credit for this. This doctor came out, long story short, said no. You know what I'm saying? It still counts as an absence, even though I was there to the very end. Still counts as an absent, and I'm just going to have to report this to the court to say that you didn't show up. I said, well, I am here. I did show up. I said, I just happen to have my daughter. I said, that you should mention in anything that you write. It's because anything else that you write is wrong. You can give me the absence, but not based on because I didn't show up. So, he didn't do that. He wrote something really, really, harmful, really detrimental, basically saying that I was not there at all. And when the court found out that I actually was there, because one of the people in the group was good enough to take the time to, come up and come to my court appearance to say, hey, look, he was there. I'm in that group. He was there. He was outside with his daughter. So thank that person, even though I probably never see him again in my life. But thank you. And this is the same Dr. Thurber that you're seeing right here, who ripped off Medicaid. So he didn't mind lying. He didn't mind doing what he did. But over 30 years later, we can say that it's karma. But it's what we do in the dark. It comes to light. And then lastly, I want to go to, like I said, I told you that one, but lastly, I want to go to a state senator, and this was a senator who I voted for. So it was one of those deals where he was, like a law and order type of person, and he fought some really, really good cases. He fought some really biased cases. So he stood up for women. He stood up for, different races and things like this. But what it still doesn't take away from is how did you get caught at an event from a communist social group, wealthy social group here in our state who promote communism? And he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat. Don't get it twisted. He's a Democrat. And he's at a communist party, which is he's presenting 3 awards. Now, the people that he's presenting awards to, he worked with in the past. You mean to tell me you didn't know that they were communists too? So forget about the excuse that you gave to the people, which he gave on our local radio station here this morning. He was like trying to bring up all the different things, what I just brought up. Oh, I'm a Democrat, I fight for this stuff. No, you can be that outside in the public. Well, you got caught behind closed doors at a communist party. It doesn't matter what you did. Like I said, if that's the case, now we can get into religion. If you're in religion, so Adam bit the apple. Well, Adam also named all the animals. He also, planted fields, taught his children how to cultivate, how to, groom the animals and domesticate, according to the scripture, domesticate the animals and stuff like that. He's a regular Christopher Columbus. This is what you're looking at, a regular Christopher Columbus. Yes, he discovered the world. He was able to go and locate all these different places that had already been discovered, but yet and still he had slaves. He sold children. He also allowed children to be used for sexual purposes. But hey, Christopher Columbus, good guy. So now, how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this individual? You know what I'm saying? You can make up excuses, but then again, what I want to leave the people with is what Joe Biden said when he said that if you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black. When do we wake up to understand that we're all being played? What people are doing in front, these are people with multiple faces. I don't care how you look at it. The reason that he's coming out talking about this now is because he got caught. And this is what's happening with these people. And it's not just here in Connecticut. They had a judge down in Louisiana overheard on her cell phone talking to her children and using the N-word over and over and over and talking about roaches and everything else. So we know that these people are in places of power. And we know that they're being used because by generating hate, you bring hate. By generating, by generating an atmosphere of you're saying you want to do this for the world, you want to do this, and you want to make this change, but then you blame other people for doing it. We've been in this standstill for over the past 50 years. We've been in a standstill. Well, we can't say 50 years, ever since the 60s and 70s. So from the 80s all the way up, we've been in this standstill. And this standstill is breaking and tearing and ripping everything apart. And this is why more reason for us to, not only to teach our children, it's okay to look up to somebody, it's okay to respect a person, but the greatest admiration and the greatest respect that you should have for any person, whether man or woman, no girl or boy, is the admiration and the respect that you have for yourself. That we continuously keep one face and we stand up for what's right. Because as long as we keep shut, these things will continue to happen and it'll be swept under the rug and we cannot make change. So, karma will come. And, when karma knocks on your door, how willing are you going to be to accept whatever karma comes your way? And like I said, I didn't grow up in the best way. Like many others, we grew up in, poverty. So, there's many avenues to take, but I can honestly say that I appreciate the good and the bad that have happened in my life, because if these things did not happen, I would not become the person that I am today. And most people get it kind of, twisted, because the way that I present myself, most people say, oh, where do you go to church? And you coming into this like born again, holier than that? No, I am a sinner. I'm just like everybody else, but that does not stop me from being a good person. And that's what it's all about, being a good person. Why should a good person be labeled with some kind of religion when we all have the choice within us to be good or to be bad, to have love or to have hate? So I've dealt with my karma, and my karma has moved me into a positive direction. And what I want to say to you all is, part of that karma is that I'm working on doing a school supply drive. At the end of this year, the beginning of next year, it's going to be a school supply drive for the local kids that are in the hardest hit communities. However, anyone that I'm working with one woman now, but anyone that is affiliated with this, we never see those children. We just present it to the school and that's it. There's no, hey, this organization did this for you. They didn't know. Because get out of that, and this is again, things like that bring on validation. And the people that I want to be a part of that school supply drive is not about validation. It's not about putting stuff on a video, and it's not about being in the light to say, hey, look at what we've done. No, do it because out of the goodness of your heart, do it because it's the right thing to do, and do it without wanting any fanfare. And that's how karma works, and that's how we continue to grow as a people, by doing the little things without no fanfare, doing them because they're the right thing to do. And by being the right thing to do is how we treat others. And that's why I make it a point every day to try to, greet somebody, to say something nice to somebody every day, no matter what I'm feeling. Maybe you can pass that on to you today. So for that, everyone, have the most beautiful day. Continue to be the best person that you can be, man, woman, child, no matter what language, no matter what color. For whatever goals that you have set forth for yourself on this day, may all those goals be blessed, as long as it benefits the positivity of humankind. And with that, everyone, peace and blessings.